Stephanie Nash is a mindfulness and body language coach and speaker. As a top expert in the Unified Mindfulness System, she was recruited to provide mindfulness for a Harvard Medical School brain study and for a Carnegie Mellon stress reduction study. Her face may be familiar from the 30 years of playing moms on TV, and it was through her Yale School of Drama training that she became fascinated with the power of body language and laughter to affect how we think and how we feel. Stephanie specializes in helping others to transform challenge into opportunity, to let go of stressful and negative thinking, to rewire relationships to food and eating, and to create more ease and well-being in life. Laughter is central to her practice. And with that, I will hand it over to Stephanie.
Hello and welcome. And it is a delight to be here with you all today. And I know this is being recorded, so a lot of people will be listening to this later. So whenever you hear this, yay, glad to see you here. So I've got an hour in which I want to empower you to feel more ease and well-being in any moment, drug-free. And we're going to play, we're going to try some things, and then afterwards, I will stay on if people have Q&A because I have a lot of material I kind of want us to play with and try out. And so I will stay for Q&A at the end. I just want to mention that. And so since it's about shifting how we feel in the moment, let's start in this moment with noticing, how do you feel right now? Just notice. You stressed? You tired? You full? Yeah, enthusiastic? Just notice this process of just stopping for a moment and tuning in to how you feel is one we're going to keep coming back to, and it's key for mindfulness, but just without judgment, without an assessment of is it good or bad, just noticing how you feel in this moment. Then, and most people don't have cameras on, and that's fine, that's cool. So you can do it as you like. But what position is your body in right now? Now, I realize the majority of us are sitting in front of a computer, but maybe your legs are crossed, maybe you're back here like we are with the clicker on the couch, maybe you're leaning forward, or maybe you're to the side. Just notice without changing, just notice what position your body's in right now. Okay, and I'd like to propose that the position your body in affects how you think and feel in each moment, but we're going to get to that experientially. Now, noticing how you feel right now, we're going to do a couple of things and then we'll check back in and see how you feel. We're going to start with a certain kind of stretch. You know how when you wake up in the morning and you're lying in bed and you just kind of do that stretch and maybe making that kind of noise. And since you're all muted, you can make whatever noise you want. And so try stretching out to the side as wide as you can with your hands, palms facing the wall beside, and just stretch, and feel free to groan and make a sound. Just stretch as wide as you can. And then stretch overhead, and you might grab one wrist and kind of go over to one side. And it's that stretch, that luxurious stretch like you're lying in bed. Good. And then let the arms just kind of fall down to the side, and you'll feel energy in the arms. And then depending, if you're in a chair, this might be a little tougher, but if you can clasp your hands behind you and then straighten your arms and stretch down there. And by the way, that's the best stretch if you're on Zoom all day. It's a de-Zoomify stretch. Feel that, and that opens up the chest. Good. And, you know what? Take one hand and just massage the back of your neck while we're here. Why not? Okay, good. Now take a big breath in, big sigh out. Now, how do you feel? Is that different than how you felt just a moment ago? Just notice. We're going to keep checking in and notice it's different. How? You feel maybe a little energy, maybe something's released, maybe you feel expanded. Just notice how you feel right now. Now, in the same way that we just stretch those arms and this overhead, what if you stretch the spine up in a way that feels good? And it's not like a militaristic arching of the back. It's almost like the tailbone is digging down into the chair and the head lifts up away from it like a helium balloon. And it stretches the spine, but in a way that feels good and creates space in the back of the neck and the small of the back, like you're taller than you think you are. And just feel what that feels like. Just notice that. So we just started here with a little stretch, but everything we did opened us up. As we go through our lives, and if anyone has stress, and I don't know how you can be alive on the planet right now without experiencing some stress, what we do is we contract. We contract forward. So this stretching and expanding is like the first go-to when you're feeling stressed, to physically expand the body. Now, in the intro, Dan mentioned that I went to Yale, and that's when I became fascinated with body language. Well, what really became interesting to me, and it's Yale School of Drama, and they teach all sorts of things, but there was one guest teacher who came in for 3 months on my junior year, and he taught how if you put your body in a certain position, it creates an emotion without thought. Without, oh, I'm playing a character and this has happened. You could just put your body in a certain position to create certain emotions. And by the way, all the emotions actors are trying to create are usually suffering emotions, you know, the ones that everyone's trying to get rid of, they're trying to put them together. So fast forward 15, 20 years later, I'm teaching meditation, and I'm noticing people complaining about emotions, especially anxiety and depression, that their bodies are in the exact same position I would put an actor in to create it. So I can work with mindfulness of where you're focusing, but if the body is holding this, it keeps pulling you back to that emotional, I'm going to say habit pattern, because if you have an emotional habit pattern, the body starts to jump on board and go, oh, I can support that. So I'm just going to mention, we got a little bit of time, so I'm doing a little taste, but I'm just going to mention in general with anxiety, and this is in general, it's a little different from different people, but the shoulders come up, the body collapses in, the arms are next to the side. And don't do this, because I used to do this in public talks, and it took me, just for having people do this for 30 seconds, it took me 5 minutes to get them to chill afterwards. But if you want to create anxiety, don't do it. If you want to create anxiety, lift your shoulders, put your arms into the side, clasp your hand, and then breathe in and go, and pretty soon you're feeling anxious. Don't do that, okay, because I'll have to unwind it. So what we want to do, if you ever find yourself feeling anxious, notice what position your body's in, and remember that opening. Can you bring the shoulders back and down? Can you open the chest? Can you get the arms away from the side? Can you let the belly be soft? Depression had one where the shoulders were rounded forward but down, so that the front part of the chest was collapsed. And guess what? We have 3 activities we all do that don't have anything to do with depression, but put our body in that position. Anybody got a cell phone, a smartphone? Anybody? Okay. Anybody got a computer? How are you watching this right now? Okay. Anybody? We go here. Car. Anybody drive a car? I'm in LA. We play bumper cars here. Okay. And all of those activities encourage a rounding forward of the shoulders, and the head, which weighs 8 to 12 pounds, it's like a small bowling ball, gets held out forward like this. And so if you've got a sore neck, the neck isn't designed to hold the head up. The head is meant to balance on top of the spine. So if you've got a sore neck and shoulders, I'm going to hypothesize there's a 98% chance you're carrying your head too far forward. So bringing the shoulders back brings the head to balance on top of the spine. And then you don't need that neck massage all the time, right? And so these activities bring us forward. And remember from Yale, the activity can create the feeling. So you can get kind of down about your life just because you're holding your body in that position. So again, this opening up. So a quick SOS, if you're feeling kind of bummed and down, and you can just turn on the news and get bummed and down. I'm not saying there isn't a reason for it, but we can counterbalance that with what we do with the body. And remember that stretch you do with the arms behind, that opens us up. Because most people have this habit of going forward. These muscles contract, and we got to stretch them. And that stretch that we did at the beginning with the hands behind helps stretch that muscle. The other muscles in the back that pull the shoulder blades down, they give up. If this goes forward, they go, oh, she's never coming back. I'm just going to go away now. If you want to strengthen those, you could do like a rowing exercise. I'm not going to teach you a rowing exercise. You can go to a gym for that. But something with your arms at your side, and like you can just put an elastic band on a doorknob and just kind of do that. And that will help strengthen. So you've got something strengthening in the back, this releasing, and that's the way the body is designed to be. But we have our habit patterns of activities, like we like our cell phone and we want to check our social media or whatever we're checking, and it's all down and your neck starts to hurt, right? So I just want to mention the quickest body language fix I can give for when you're, and it's not just when you're feeling anxious or depressed. Those are emotional flavors. Thoughts that put logs in that fire start to get activated. So it might lead to having more negative thinking. So unplugging negative thinking, I'm going to work with mindfulness on it, but we can start with the body and just create a conducive environment. And in general, we want to create space, stretching up. And by the way, there's a TED talk on posture poses that I think it's called power poses, how you literally can get more testosterone. Yes, women have it too, which creates confidence. So by letting the body be up and wide, you can literally, that tells, like I said, these positions tell you you're anxious or depressed. Well, this lengthened open position tells you you're confident and feeling good. It's feeling empowered. Yay. Okay, cool. So now there are other physical, and I'm going to show you in a moment how to stop cortisol. You guys know what fellow people. Okay, I'm from Ohio. We say Yuns guys there. Sorry, everyone in Ohio doesn't say that. I have to take that back. But I'm going to show you in a moment how to stop cortisol, which is the stress hormone, from coming into the body. Before I do, though, I want to just finish with possible physical things we can do to help us feel better. So what I just worked with is the kind of positioning you put yourself in at any given moment, right? There are also movements we can do that can shift your mood and thoughts on a dime, and we'll end with one today that'll flood you with endorphins, which is another one. But stretching, which we just did. Remember, I said, how do you feel before and after? Running, dancing, anything with rhythm. Both my mother and my sister did PhDs on working with how my mother did how dance helps with depression, and my sister did how she used music for PTSD. And so rhythm can absolutely help us. We have rhythms in our body. We have a heartbeat, we have breath. And so certain kinds of rhythms, we can go to the ocean and watch the waves. And there's something kind of trance-like about that. There's a book called The Body Keeps the Score, which is it's dealing with trauma, how trauma gets in our body. And there's one little story in there he tells about women in Africa who'd all been traumatized and how they started humming and singing and with a rhythm dancing and healing themselves through the rhythm and dance. So rhythm can be incredibly healing and also help us go quickly to a sense of well-being. Posture is one, and I just want to mention Dan's going to give you my email and my website. On my website is a free PDF of posture. It's posture for meditation, but it works in life too. The reason I do it for meditation is if you're going to sit with your eyes closed for a long period of time, why not cultivate an optimal body positioning that while we're practicing where our mind goes, let's practice where our body goes so that we have more natural ease and support. So that'll be available to you. 2 other movements that help create well-being almost instantaneously: swinging. You can swing your arms. You can swing. When I do live workshops, body language workshops, I'll have people sit in a chair and kind of straddle the chair and swing their legs back and forth, like a kid, really playful. And you'll see the whole energy in the room, and people start just laughing and they're free. And I said, what do you feel? And they say, I feel like a child. And I said, do you ever do this? They go, oh, no. No, I don't do that. I said, does it feel good? They go, oh yeah. So you can just play with things that feel good and notice how, why don't we do that? Bouncing. There's another TED talk by a woman named, I think it's Tal Shapira, something like that, where she talks about trying to find movement in dance and certain kind of movements that create well-being and happiness. And she went, she found skipping and it was great. And women loved it. And men went, what? What? Step, hop, and I said, she should have said basketball and they would have done it. But it's still a bouncing kind of movement can literally give you serotonin and help you feel better. So those are movements. Okay, so that I just wanted to touch on the body before we get to anywhere and it's things you can do at any moment. So any moment in the day you find yourself stuck in a negative thought or in a mood or, I have to do this now, get up, stretch, bounce, swing. You could open this. Don't let the chest and shoulders collapse forward. Think of it like a blooming open of that. And you're opening to your natural resonance and beauty as a human being. Okay, now we're going to work with stopping some cortisol before we do. I've been talking a little bit. How are you feeling now? Same as what you were feeling before? It's someone, I don't know, someone could have gone to sleep for all I know. But just notice how you're feeling right now, okay? Maybe the same, maybe interested, maybe entertained, maybe bored, I don't know. But just notice how you feel physically. And whenever we tune, see, I'm going to look over here. Energized and interested, yay. So whenever we tune into how we feel in the body, by the way, and also I just want to mention, we talk about be here now and the power of the present moment. The body's always in the present moment, okay? So when in doubt, I always say, feel your feet. But anytime you're tuning into the body, it brings you into the present moment. Also, we have the enthusiastic, calmer and focused. Wow, I don't have to do anything else now. I could just stop right now, huh? But anytime we tune into the body, you're going to have some pleasant sensations, maybe. You might have some unpleasant sensations. We all have aches and pains. I've passed my 60th birthday and things hurt that didn't hurt before, right? Most of the sensations will be neutral. Try to have no judgment when you tune in. It's not like that's good, that's bad. Because the moment you judge something as bad, attention comes in around it. And if it's painful, whether it's an emotion or a pain, you go, I don't like that. Attention comes in around it that makes it hurt more and guarantees it's going to hurt longer. That tension holds it in place. So this opening, I'm going to show you relaxation in a moment. But so just notice tuning into the body, put you in the present moment. And there's little ways you can shift how you feel in each moment. We just did it through movement. Now, noticing how you feel right now. Notice, I'm going to be annoying how much I keep asking you to notice how you feel right now. Now, I'm going to invite everyone to take a big breath in and a big juicy sigh out. See that? Did something let go? Now, I had you tune into how you felt before. You didn't say that whatever was tense, but something lets go when we have a big breath out. What is it? Do it again. Big breath in, big breath out. And for the people who have cameras on, point to what lets go. Okay, big breath in. Where do you feel release? Neck, jaw, chest. Okay, throat. Something lets go on the breath out. Isn't that interesting? We have a wave of release on every breath out, but we notice it more on the big breath out. Now let's do, and this is a little exercise I call 3 breaths. We'll take more than 3 breaths, but there's 3 ways of tuning in to a big breath in and out. The first one is to just notice what lets go naturally. Now, most people feel a kind of release in the front part of the torso around the ribs and diaphragm when you do that. But if you've got a place of habitual tension, jaw, neck, shoulders, belly, yeah, that all or some of that may release too. Okay. Now we're going to do a second big breath in and out. And on this one, you pick something to let go of, your choice. And if you can't let go of all of it, let go of a piece of it, you get points either way. Okay. Big breath in, and you choose what you're going to let go of on the breath out. Big breath in, let go of something. Could be jaw, neck, shoulders, belly. And do that one again and close your eyes, because when we close our eyes, we can feel it better. Big breath in, let go of something. Feel that? Good. Now, for a lot of people, it's kind of more satisfying when they get to choose what lets go. Make sense? All right. Now, the third one is magic. And I'm just going to close the door for a moment. Excuse me. Sorry, I was hearing somebody in the other room, and I didn't want you to hear because we're recording this. Here we go. Okay, now on the third one, this is the magic. This is the gold. Okay, and I'm going to highly recommend doing this with the eyes closed, but I'm first going to explain how we're going to focus on this breath out. We're going to hold 2 things in awareness at the same time. A third of your awareness is going to be on something that lets go, like what we were just doing. Your jaw, your neck, your chest, your belly, your throat, whatever. A third of your attention is on that. And 2/3 of your attention is covering the whole body in awareness. And I'm going to invite you to see if you notice, and it's going to be really subtle. During the exhalation, and even after the breath is over, is there a subtle spread, like a wave of softening? Might feel like a warm vibration, like something lets go in the center, and then there's this kind of warm, one of my clients calls it the whoosh, but just kind of a subtle spread of softening. And close your eyes. The subtler the sensation we tune into, the more helpful it is if the eyes are closed. So let's just try this all together. Closing the eyes, big breath in, breath out, let go of something, and see if there's a subtle wave spread of softening. And it can continue even after the breath is over. And let's just do that one more time. Big breath in. Good. Now, how many people felt a subtle spread wave of softening? Raising hands. Okay. Everyone with a camera on, I see most of them have the hands raised. There we go. Thank you. All right. So you've been breathing out a long time, like since you were born. And you've been taking big sighs in and out. But I think there's a high probability you haven't noticed that wave before. That's what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is bringing kind of extraordinary attention to ordinary experience to create a kind of extraordinary experience, because that subtle spread is pretty delicious, isn't it? Like that's what I do during the day between events. I close my eyes and I go right for the third one. Oh, subtle spread of softening. Now, I'm going to get sciencey on you for a second. Research has shown that when you elongate the breath out longer than the breath in, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system. What's that? We've got a sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight, freeze, puts cortisol in our system right now. Our entire planet has that going on. And that's the balancing system to that. And that's helpful if you got to go fight the saber-toothed tiger or whatever you got to do. And the cortisol is to help you take action. And that's that kind of agitated, icky, stressful sensation. That's, if you want to know what cortisol feels like, just think of what you feel like when you're stressed. That's what cortisol feels like. The parasympathetic nervous system, often called the rest and digest, is the balance. And we're not getting enough balance with that right now in general. So this is how we create the balance. So elongating the breath out. And if I'm working with someone who's like having a panic attack and they're in a SOS place, I usually have them breathe out through a straw because that naturally elongates the breath out. Some people do box breathing where they breathe in and then hold, breathe in to a count of 3 or 4 and hold for a count of 3 or 4 and breathe out for a count of 3 or 4. And then they extend that. Well, if you're having a panic attack, I used to have them, so I know. I'm not going to ask anyone to hold their breath because a panic attack is where you don't feel like you can get enough breath. So holding your breath is not kind in that particular situation. So just when they're like that, I say, feel your feet and breathe out through a straw. And that will naturally elongate the breath out. And you probably won't even be able to breathe in. If you're really panting, it'll be like, it might be 1. And maybe a pause, maybe not. And then 4. You might only get to 4 or 3. And then take a little catch breath, then do it again, right? That's the SOS where I'm like having a panic attack. The exercise I just showed you, so that's science has that. Science has elongate the breath out, stops cortisol going into your body. Oh, and there was a recent study, good news for women, sorry men, but the cortisol that's already in your body, this recent study showed, so it was only one study. So after there have been 10 or 20, we know it, but this was one I just heard early last year, I think, where the cortisol that's already in your body, so that stops new cortisol from happening. That elongation of the breath out. For women, the cortisol that's already in your body dissipates in about 5 minutes. For men, it was more like 25. Sorry, you got to walk around the block or do some of that movement we talked about. Do a push-up, jumping jacks, something after you've stopped the cortisol, right? So just want to mention that. What I just showed you with the breath out, where some of your attention was on here and some was on the whole body, feeling that subtle spread. That exercise naturally extends the breath out, but it does something more. It brings your awareness to your whole body. So you're more embodied, and the body, you're experiencing the body as a not solid event. You're feeling spread and movement. That is one of the kindest things you can do for yourself during the day. And it's just one of the loveliest resets. So that's the second thing. First was the opening the body and getting this here. And the other one is, let's stop cortisol and just tune into this subtle wave spread of softening on every breath out. And if you couldn't feel it, keep playing with it. It's like a faint radio station. But once you detect it, it's easier and easier to, you know exactly where to look and how to see it. And it's your friend, it's your gift, it's your go-to. Okay, now I'm going to guide a little 5-minute meditation, maybe 7, who knows. So for a meditation, now what's with this eyes closed, eyes open stuff? When our eyes are open, the human eye moves 100 to 200,000 times a day. And every time it moves, it activates a kind of Rolodex of associative images in our mind. Well, we want that attention in the mind to come into feeling our experiences in the body. Okay, so just by closing the eyes, more real estate of consciousness can tune in. And so you get a richer, like that subtle spread is harder to detect with the eyes open. And if you really want to test this on your own, do it with a bite of food. You want to really taste your food, put a bite of food in, have your eyes open, eat it, go, yeah, got it. Close your eyes and taste it. And it's like you just got another 500,000 taste buds, or however many there are, I don't know. It's like, whoa, whole new experience. Welcome to mindful eating. And then you're more satisfied with less food. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I wasn't intending to say anything about that, but while I'm there, throwing that in. So we're going to close our eyes for this meditation. If that's comfortable for you, you're home alone with cameras off, so you should feel safe. But I'm telling you why we're closing the eyes. Okay. So I'm going to ring a bell, not because you need a bell to meditate, just because I like bells. And the bell can kind of help you focus a little bit. So I'm going to ring the bell once to begin, once to end. And I'm going to recommend you stretch the spine up in a way that feels good and let the shoulders relax back and down, and I'll guide everything else. So to begin, let's take that nice big breath in and breath out and feel that subtle spread. Good. Now, allow the head, like a helium balloon, like we did earlier, to lift upwards in a way that stretches the spine. And as it lifts up, let everything else just hang down from that. Let the jaw drop. Let gravity take the jaw. Let the shoulders relax back and down. That'll open the chest naturally. Arms are just hanging at the side, and allow the weight of the arms to help the shoulders relax down a little more. And then, and this is the kicker, let the belly be soft. We all tighten the front part of our torso, especially the belly. That's how we protect ourselves emotionally. So let this be a safe place to let the belly soften. And it might feel a little achy to do that. And just let it be loose as best you can. And allow the breath to just drop down easily and naturally into a soft belly. Good. Now, we're going to tune into the movement or sensations created by the breathing process. As you breathe naturally, you're free to take a big breath in and out at any point. But just notice when we breathe, the ribs expand and contract. And that's a gentle movement. And what if we allowed that movement of the breath to be a massage from the inside? And the movement of the breath literally does massage your internal organs. When we breathe down to the bottom of the lungs, it pushes the internal organs out. That's why we call it belly breathing. There's no air in your belly. That's the organs moving out. And then when we breathe out, they come back in. And that movement in and out of the organs massages them and helps them function better. You digest better. Everything works better. So just let that movement of the breath. And you might, even on a normal breath, feel that spread, that subtle softening that we felt on the big breath out. And that can be a kind of massage. Maybe you feel the air moving in and out of the nostrils or down the throat. Let that be a massage. Any movement that happens from the breathing process, let it be a massage. Let it soften you. Let it help release any tension, any habitual tightness. With every breath out, the body gets a little more settled, like a snow globe. Just all settles. And that movement of the breath is this gentle massage as you allow yourself to be massaged by any movement from the breathing process. You can always at any moment take a big breath in and breath out. Feel that wave of release, that softening. And anytime we tune into flavors of release or softening in the body, for some people, and this might happen now, it might happen in a longer meditation, but they might get something like that feels like energy. It usually first manifests in the face and hands because we have more nerve endings there. And so if you get a kind of vibratory, tingly sensation in the face and hands, let that be there and let that be a massage. Let it spread or collapse. Just let anything that wants to move, move however it wants to move. It's like that spread of release on the big breath out that we felt. It's like when you drop a pebble into a pond, there's a little splash and a ripple out into the water. You're the water. And you're allowing this ripple wave to just go through you on a big breath out, and on every breath out, it's there. It's just subtler. Good. So whenever we tune into the body, there's different kinds of sensation. We could tune into grounding touch sensations of our feet on the floor and our butt on the chair and what our hands are touching. We could tune into emotional sensations. Here we're tuning into sensations of relaxation, release, letting go, and a flow of movement as a massage. And it's intrinsically pleasant. Your nervous system is in heaven when you do this. And it's something you can do at any point in your day with just a few breaths. Feeling that massaging spread of release or just the natural movement. Like watching babies breathe. You watch the belly, their whole body moves in and out. It's beautiful massage. Letting yourself be massaged by the movement of the breath. And then take a nice deep breath in, big sigh out, feeling that wave of release, and allow the sound of the bell to resonate with and vibrate with any releasing spread you feel in the body. And there's a little magical moment, an opportunity at the end of every meditation, and it's the transition from that eyes closed focus to eyes open. If you bring a mindful awareness, in other words, slow it down like you're underwater, like you're in space, and tune into something from your meditation, feel something or whatever you had in your meditation, and when in doubt, feel your feet, but here we have that release of the breath. If you tune into that, as you slowly open your eyes and that other part of the brain comes online, it helps the benefit of this practice get integrated into your daily life more. So it becomes a natural default. So slowly open your eyes, feeling the breath or spread or relaxation or your feet if you don't think of anything else. And for any meditation you do with anybody, that's a little magical moment that you can optimize to get more benefit from your practice, more bang for your buck. Cool. Now, how are you feeling right now? Different? Relaxed? Couple, you look like you're in a zone. Definitely different. Okay. Feel that? Everything I'm guiding you in today is available to you in any moment. I often say I'm like Glinda in The Wizard of Oz, although I don't talk like that. But she turns to Dorothy at the end. Dorothy has to go through all this. She got all this stuff. And at the end, she says, you know, you really had the ability all along. All you have to do is click your heels together 3 times. Like, why didn't you tell her that in the first place? I don't know. But this is me telling you, you've got the ruby slippers already. I'm just showing you how to click them together 3 times. And where's home? A relaxed, present ease. Yay. Feeling relaxed, feeling self-aware. Ooh, nice. Okay, cool. Now, because you're in a different place, I'm going to use my soft voice. I don't want to pull you out of it. But I'm just going to say a couple things about mindfulness now. So mindfulness, everything we've done here is mindfulness. You've been breathing a long time, remember? That breath out. Have you felt massaged by the breath before? Maybe not. That's something you can do in any moment. Those are your ruby slippers. Click them together 3 times. You can just feel that. So mindfulness isn't just about tuning into the breath or tuning into what lets go. Mindfulness is about tuning into any aspect of your sensory experience. What do I mean? We have 5 senses. We see, hear, feel, taste, smell. We have a thought process, which is really a see and a hear. There's only 2 components to the thinking process. And if I had more time, I'd say, how do you know what you're thinking? And everyone would say, well, we have mental images and internal talk, and that's it. So there's a see and a hear to the thinking process. So those 5 senses, see, hear. We can see out, and we also see in. If you've ever driven the car and you don't remember getting there, you were looking at mental images, okay? Hearing out, and then we hear the voice in our head. We're all aware of the voice in your head. Oh, someone had tears pouring out. So if you have an emotional response to any of this, it happens sometimes when we release, let that just be movement happening. Be massaged by that, okay? So one interesting thing about the part of our brain, one part of the brain processes auditory. So the same part of the brain hears the voice in the head as hears sounds on the outside. You know how we can use that to advantage? Anybody here ever have a negative voice in your head? Anything saying like maybe self-judgment or you're late or you're doing it wrong or you're not good enough or that person is a bad person or turn on the news, right? Got anything in the head and now it's stuck and it's going around again and again and again. And why do you have to think it 5 times? You already thought it once. Do you need to think it 5 times? And every time you think it again and again, the body gets more tense. Here's a quick unplug. Same part of the brain. It's one radio station. Slide out the sound. So just try it right now. Close your eyes and say a sentence to yourself in your head. Hear it. Hear that voice that we know well. Okay? Hear the voice. Now, slide out to hearing sounds in your environment. At this moment, my voice is one, but listen to dogs barking, birds chirping, the heater going on, or the air conditioner. Well, I don't know where you are. The dog breathing next to you. Just take a moment to slide out to hear the sounds in your world, however subtle, the refrigerator going. And notice when you shift from the voice in your head, it's expansive. You're expanding out in the sound space. Now come back in and hear the voice in the head. Maybe it's silent now. Just say a word. Coming into contracted. Now slide out again to the sounds in the world around. Cool. I just kind of threw that in. That's a quick unplug. That voice is going and going. It's like putting your foot out and tripping it. You just unplug it. Then you can do your relaxation. Then you can do your positive affirmation or whatever other thought you want to have. But let's pull the roots out of that thought first. So I just wanted to mention that. But back to the 5 senses that mindfulness looks at. Our 5 senses: see, hear, feel, taste, smell, including the thought process and emotions or physical sensations in the body. Those senses are what tell you who you are, that you're here right now, what your problems are, what your history is, what you want in life. Okay? All that comes in through those 5 senses. So mindfulness, especially the kind I'm qualified in, unified mindfulness, really works with all of them. And so you could have listening to music have that be a meditation. And sometimes when we work with people who've been traumatized, that's safer than the body, right? So we go where we can go. It's all sensory experience. And you pull that apart and you pull it apart. You can work with each one. I'm just going to say that for now. And that changes your relationship. You start to see how thoughts and feelings are formed in the first place, as opposed to being a victim of them. So if you want to know more about that, contact me. I got courses on that. But today, oh my God, I love this. I love your enthusiasm, Eileen. Yay. But today I want to just let you know what's possible. Okay. In 1 hour, I can't give you a course on everything, but I just want you to know about that sliding out the sound. I just want you to know that, you know what, there's a whole nother way to work with things that's not only pulls apart suffering, but helps you enjoy your life more. Then you have a richer, satisfying sensory experience of each moment. You know, I used to say it's like the universe is making love to you in each moment. Never mind, I'm going to say what someone else said. And he said, that's a hard act to follow then for relationships, isn't it? That's what he said. And I was like, yeah, pretty much. So now I am going to show you an exercise I developed. I developed this exercise. It does more than this, but I developed it to pop that negative thought. You know, you got a negative thought. You tried sliding out the sound, but it's like, you were fine. You were sitting at your computer. You got up to go. This is what happened to me. I got up to go to the kitchen, and then this thought came like, oh no, this is going to happen. Oh, boom, 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 boom. And I knew that was going to stick all day. I knew that was going to be a gnarly, sticky, grippy one. So I developed this exercise, and it's called the 3 bounce chuckle. And I use science for it. Science has shown that a fake smile makes you see the world in a more positive light. Fake. Okay, fake. I'm not thinking anything positive. It's like I'm saying, oh, I'm so glad you put that big purple ugly thing in my lawn. Okay, I do not mean it. Fake smile. All right. Then you breathe out all the air from your lungs. We're creating a vacuum. Actually, do you remember a time you ever laughed so hard you couldn't breathe? Everybody remember that? Okay, we rarely get that anymore. We now go, oh, yeah. That's kind of what we do now, right? There's just a lot to really laugh at. Well, when you do that big laugh so hard that you can't breathe, it physiologically creates a global relaxation in your body that lasts for over 45 minutes after you're done laughing. Cool. So I wanted to be able to access that and unplug the negative thoughts. So I came up with this. So big smile. All the air goes out of the lungs, which is how we get that I can't breathe at the end of the last thing. So it's just a diaphragmatic exercise. You don't have to think of anything funny. Then you squeeze out 3, I call it 3 bounces. 3 bounces of sound because you have no air in your lungs. You do the best you can. Then you will gasp in air, because if you didn't breathe out enough, because you're going to need air. You're going to gasp in air. And then most people laugh because the sound of those 3 bounces going out is kind of funny. It can sound like the end of a big laugh. It can sound like a cat dying. It can sound like all sorts of things. So I'm going to do it for you now, and then we're going to do it together, and I'm going to invite everyone to unmute for it. But first, let me do it for you. So it goes like this. Big smile, all the air out. and I've been doing that for 15 years, and I still laugh every time. It just always sounds so funny to me. You want to try it? Now, right now, from just having done that, I am feeling warm vibration. That's endorphins. Endorphins are available in 5 seconds. Don't believe me? Try this with me, okay? Fake smile. Unmute. You have to unmute. We have to all do this together. Okay. Unmute. Even if you don't have your video on. Okay. Big teeth. All the air out. Is that good? Do it again. Let's do it again. Okay. Big teeth. Here we go. And you notice you tend to keep laughing. Oh well. Okay, so I'm going to say a few words about this, and we're going to end on that in a couple of minutes. But do you feel that? What do you feel? You just did it twice. You feel that? That's endorphins. Okay, so cortisol is the stress hormone that we learn to, and so let's mute up right now while I talk, and then we'll unmute again in a second, because I want to give you a little more information about this. So cortisol is the stress hormone that feels jangly. So I said, breathe out, stop cortisol. Women have 5, men have to go for a walk. You could replace it with endorphins. What are endorphins? It's nature's euphoria. Okay. It's a little high. We just did that twice. We're going to, in a minute, we're going to do it for like 30 seconds. And you guys are going to be so high. You're going to like, yeah, I remember that class, you know. Drug-free. It's free. It has no calories. And it's always available. How good does that get? Now, I just want to give you some information. Here's some science. So, endorphins, the feel-good hormone, give you energy. I'm in Santa Monica. I used to go into corporations here, and instead of coffee breaks, we'd have a laugh break. Everyone would come in the conference room, and they would all laugh together for less than 5 minutes, and they'd leave, and they were happier. Their relationships were better. Their work was better. You know, they were more productive, right? Okay. It's better than a cup of coffee. It lowers your cortisol. It lowers your laughter, lowers your blood pressure. It strengthens your immune system. It lowers blood sugar levels in type 2 diabetes. I kid you not. I had to look that one up twice. Blood sugar levels in type 2 diabetes go down with laughter. It helps your cholesterol levels shift to good. It strengthens good cholesterol and lowers bad cholesterol. Seriously. I mean, really. What their studies say, it increases pain tolerance. What the experience would be is, I've got pain, I laugh, and I've stopped suffering is what it is. It's like, oh yeah, there's a sensation, but I feel good. It just feels like energy. So people usually say, oh, the pain went away. Well, it's really the suffering went away when you laugh. And I've taught a lot of pain workshops, and you get everyone laughing, and oh my God. It's good for your heart. There's been a lot of things where laughter helps blood vessels function better. And then this one got me. I'm a meditation teacher, okay? They did a study where people, and they put them in an fMRI where they're looking at their brain, how they got them. I've had my brain studied and locked in, right? How they got people laughing in there, I don't know. But they got people laughing in there. And the laughter created the same gamma waves that you get in deep meditation. Seriously. I mean, really. And what are gamma waves? Gamma waves are, we talk about in the zone, where you're in the zone, you're in the flow. Basketball players, Wayne Gretzky, it's where you're present, you're aware of everything, everything's flowing smoothly, you're more graceful, you have more agility, you're more flexible, you're able to kind of handle things in a better way. That's gamma waves. We like those. Okay, laughter helps. So it shifts your mood, it gives you energy, and I use it to when I got that negative thought and I went to the kitchen, I went, okay. Okay, it's still there, but it's fainter. It's not as grippy. Let me do it again. And I had to do it 3 times for that really gnarly thought. The most I've ever had to do it is 5. And by then it's like, what thought? I don't even remember the thought anymore. Okay. Don't take my word for it. Do it. Do it. It's yours. You have the ruby slippers. So guess what we're going to do right now? The last 2 minutes. We're going to laugh. We're going to do it 3 times and then continue. Now, for those who are already laughing, because it's kind of funny, you kind of get on a roll. And guess what? When you laugh, like when you practice this, you laugh more at your life. It's kind of like it's a joke and you get in on it a little bit. You get to kind of laugh at things a little more. So you have more of a tendency to laugh at things when you kind of practice this. But so for those who want, just we're going to keep laughing. We're going to do it for 30 seconds. And if you can't keep laughing, just keep doing the 3 bounce chuckle. You'll get the same benefits. Okay? Unmute. Here we go. We're going out on a laugh. Teeth, fake. You don't really think anything positive. Here we go. Breath out. Okay, we're all gonna take a big breath in together and out on a loud sigh. It's hard to keep laughing. Do another big sigh in. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Okay. That ends my time with you. I'm going to stay for Q&A, but I'm just going to sum this up. If you're anxious or depressed, what position is your body in? Look at it. Open it. Notice your shoulders. Notice your belly. You're really stressed to panic, breath out. You can stop cortisol and negative talk in your head. You can slide out the sound, or you always got the 3 bounce chuckle. And on that note, I am done. I hope this was, sorry, I just got Southern there, didn't I? I hope this was, it happens. I hope this was helpful. It's been my pleasure. For anybody who needs to go now, I thank you for being here. For everyone who's watching the recording, hope you're laughing. I hope you're still laughing. And I will now, for those who would like to stay, if anyone has questions or reports, wants to say, oh, when we did this, I felt this. Every time someone asks a question, it benefits all the other people who were thinking it and either didn't know to ask it or something like that. So I just want to thank you for being here. It's been my pleasure. I hope it was fun. I hope it was informative. And I hope it was something that you can use at any moment in your life.